All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters San Jose qualifiers. We're getting into the round of 4 now, which means this match will be our last match of the night, but it will also mean that we find out another player moving on to stage number 2, which includes 8 people that were invited into stage 2, as well as 8 people that have qualified on through our previous 3 cups, as well as today's, with people like in there like Violet, QXC, Hook, the list goes on.
Scarlet.
Yep, we
someone
found a lot
I
of cool people.
Yeah, there's a couple of really good people in that. And they're battling out for 3 spots in total to go to Intel Extreme Masters San Jose. But the beeping sound means the countdown has begun for this game. And we're starting on Overgrowth. Another PVZ with Schnieder.
Yep, going up against PiLiPiLi, who apparently eliminated Schnieder's brother during this qualifier. So this
Family
is
feud time.
Yeah,
Family feud time.
May as well try and get some revenge here as we get into game number 1 of our final series of the night. Spawning up to the top right-hand corner, it is our pink Zerg. It is Schnieder. And we've already seen his Swarm host style on this map look fantastic. And then down to the bottom left-hand corner is our red Protoss. It is PiLiPiLi.
I like the name PiLiPiLi.
Mm-hmm.
It just sounds cool. But yeah, for the moment, PVZ. It'll be interesting to see if Schnieder goes for this Swarm host style again, and also what PiLiPiLi's going to do, because I imagine PiLiPiLi may have asked Schnieder's opponent what happened. Obviously, people in any regional scene are often quite buddy-buddy with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, maybe we'll see a very aggressive play coming down from the Protoss to try and deny any of that Swarm host style.
Yep, maybe. I assume that PiLiPiLi has a good idea of how Schnieder can play.
Schnieder, not giving away anything yet. He did open a hatch pool, remember, in the previous series against a Protoss player. Meanwhile, coming down from PiLiPiLi at the moment, we do just have a Gateway expand on the cards.
Yep, and over on the other side, Schnieder hatchery on the way. So, I wonder if Schnieder is so happy to go into something like the Swarm host play again, or if he feels that maybe he wants to mix things up. I think probably just trying to, if he had, again, oh god, I gotta keep going on about it, just a little bit better creep spread with that Swarm host play. The open is so sick at the beginning, but it wasn't as sick as I would like to have seen it.
My concern with the Swarm host play coming out again from Schnieder is that when you see the real gods of the Swarm host style play it out, there was multiple opportunities in the previous series for Schnieder where, I'm thinking particularly when he had that fight by his gold base. He destroyed the entire Protoss army and he didn't counterattack and go and win the game, which against some Protosses, that'll be fine because you can just starve them out and just wait and wait and wait. But against some of the real top Protoss players, if you let them build up that 200-200 army, they can deal with Swarm host play. They can crush it. They can beat it. They will get a composition that they're comfortable using. And if you don't know when to just go for the kill, and you give them time, that's all they usually need.
This Overlord sees pretty much everything. So sees the extent of the Cybernetics core, knows what's going on. And the second gas is being taken as well. So he just gets all the information, does Schnieder. He's not really... But the thing is you notice that how he's like not really taking the third hatchery as actively. So maybe he has a little bit of information on PiLiPiLi that I particularly don't. So he's playing a little bit more cautiously against PiLiPiLi than he was in his previous series, that's for sure.
A couple of Lings going to be coming out onto the field. So just for going to be probably checking to make sure there's no proxies or anything going on. There's the third base. Not crazy late, but of course later than you would sometimes see it, just due to the fact that we do have Zerging speed coming on down. Meanwhile, PiLiPiLi is grabbing in the robotics facility, going for a bit more stock production and adding in additional gateways. Very normal Protossy things to do at this time in the game.
Robo going down here overall, which can spell Immortal all in. So we'll see how Schnieder's going to end up dealing with this. Overall, it can be kind of difficult to hold on to that third base against an Immortal all-in if you do not have good creep spread over in that direction. And we saw Schnieder not really have as great creep spread in the previous game, or not be too active about the creep tumors earlier on. So this could be a really cool choice here from PiLiPiLi, as he's trying to clear out this Overlord on the right-hand side with the Mothership Core and the Stalker. So he knows where it is as well in terms of positioning.
He's keeping an eye on that one. Of course, he's also moving the Stalker over to the possible main base entrance for an Overlord there as well. So just wanting to make absolutely sure he doesn't get scouted out on this, as the Immortal is about to finish in its first production. Meanwhile, for Schnieder, he has a couple of spores coming down. So again, just playing it safe.
A little bit in the dark, really. Extra gateways being added on behind all of this.
Okay, here comes the Overlord in towards the main. Is the Stalker going to see it?
Well,
it should do.
Yep, should be okay.
Go, Stalker, go. Yep, there we go. So this Overlord not going to get the scout. The Overlord from the natural, again, not going to come in. Although the Mothership Core has moved forward. But again, not seeing this. That Roach-1 is coming down for Schnieder. But
it's melee weapons, though. It's melee weapons, which he's looking to aim towards the third base. The thing is that this Overlord on the right-hand side was never active and didn't see the gases at the natural. Not only that, but only just now he sees these Immortals.
The Roach-1 isn't done yet. Luckily, there are some lava in the bank ready to be pumped on into some more units. A lot of speedlings are being produced at the moment. But here comes the move out. The War Prism not yet finished. There also isn't a probe out on the map in order to get the proxy pylon. So this will delay the push slightly, allowing some spines to get out, allowing that Roach-1 to finish. But this is still incredibly scary.
Yeah, the Ling's trying to go for, I guess, a counterattack? No, why would they end up just going straight for those Zealots? They're reinforcing. This is, again, for PiLiPiLi, this is his best case scenario. Getting out of here, having this not spotted for that long, tries to throw it on force field, saves this pylon, all importantly. There's another one on the way as well as one so close forward. He could throw down force field here. Well, I mean, he only has one sentry at the front. Wait a minute, he's going with this 2 sentries and just Zealots? Ah! Okay, well, this is really kind of all in, obviously. He doesn't have any force fields with this.
Nope, he's got to keep the Immortals safe. He did a fantastic job defending against this previously, Schnieder, but that Spine Caller gets taken down. There's some more Zealots coming on through, but of course those Roaches eating him up.
Oh, bringing some of those Zealots to the front as well to try and get on top of those Queens. And he saves the Mothership Core with all of that as well. He's trying, he needs to bring that War Prism back though to save that Immortal. He doesn't save it in the end, but overall, that Immortal might have just done what it needs to do. I mean, you really need to save Immortals during this though, so I'm really, really cautious about saying that it's done because only one Immortal, it's up to the Zealots to do massive work here for PiLiPiLi.
Well, they're getting warped in beautifully, surrounding some small groups of Roaches, doing as much as possible. That Spine of the third base being an absolute hero momentarily. But just look at the amount of forces here for PiLiPiLi. GG. Well, PiLiPiLi takes game number 1 of this best of 3.
All right, well, really bringing it to him very, very quickly there. Overall, just what do you expect, really, from an Immortal all-in that wasn't really scouted out too well there? Unfortunately, Schnieder just had a ton of information denied from him and trying to throw down spores and then committing to melee and looking over for a third base. Those 2 Lings at the front, seeing the 2 Immortals moving out. And that really shows the power of Immortal all-in, even without sentries.
Yep. Well, that's the thing. It's a bit of a different Immortal all-in as well. Like, if there were sentries there, it may have gone differently. But those little things that PiLiPiLi did that was really sweet, like picking up the Zealots in order to get them closer to the front line, to surround the Queen, to pick that off, saving the Mothership Core. Just little touches like that made it just even more effective. It's clearly a very solid build from PiLiPiLi there.
But in the end also, like, if that had been spotted and it hadn't have had sentries, I think, you know, the commitment to Roaches would have been a quicker response, and then, you know, that kind of Zealot heavy style wouldn't have been anywhere near as effective. It's the fact that it just went all undetected that the Zealot style was okay and good to go. So it's, well, it's what it is. Catalina is our next map here. PiLiPiLi leads 1-0, and Schnieder, unfortunately for him, this is his last chance to stay in the running to get on to stage 2, because there's no more cups after this. The next stage 2 is the 11th of November.
It's also the final qualifier, if I'm not mistaken, as well, other than the open qualifier at... Intel Extreme Masters San Jose itself.
Yeah.
Because the Korean qualifiers been played, the European qualifiers been played, so...
Yeah, true.
USA Championship has been played, so yeah. It all comes down to this for potentially Schnieder. If PiLiPiLi is able to win this game, he gets into stage number 2. Schnieder's going to be looking to upset that, though, as we are loading in to Catalina as I speak. We are in game, so let's jump to it.
All right, then. Spawning on the left-hand side of the map here as our pink Zerg. Currently 1 game down. It is Schnieder who needs to bring it back, otherwise his hopes are dashed. And up to the, well, down to the bottom right-hand corner, it's our red Protoss. 1 game away from advancing on to stage number 2. It is PiLiPiLi.
So, PiLiPiLi. It comes down to this. I don't know if PiLiPiLi is always a aggressive kind of all-in player, or whether he does like to play macro occasionally. I haven't had the pleasure of casting him prior to this. Schnieder, we know, can go for very, very long games. You also know that he can hold really, really nicely. If we look at his previous series, he actually did a fantastic job of managing to hold it. So, an Immortal Sentry play. And that was without it being detected for quite a while as well. So, it's not out of the question that he can't level this out. It would be our first ace game of the night as well.
Yep. I'm trying to think overall. PiLiPiLi here with a Gateway opener. He may even go Nexus into Gateway, but the thing is that the Overlord is actually going to get spotted on this really, really fast. So
I reckon it will just be a Gateway expand. It's really risky otherwise. I think Gateway expand is the safe way to go here. Although now I've said that, PiLiPiLi is going to go Nexus first.
Looks like it. Looks like it. And it's spawning pool opener. It would be so sick if like Schnieder just went for something like a cast right now and just like went for it, but it's not going to be the case, I don't think. He's just being safe, being cautious, doesn't want PiLiPiLi to be able to do anything crazy against him because it's, again, it's his last chance. Got to be very, very careful about this.
Okay, so here's the good thing for Schnieder. Over comes the Overlord, sees that it's a Nexus first, and that's a really important scout now. Do you try and punish this if you're Schnieder?
I think he probably won't. I think he'll just try and macro it out himself. I don't know. I don't see what he can really do from here. Maybe try and make a few lings and go in, but even that is really kind of dodgy. I think he probably just wants to play out as macro focused as possible.
I think that'd be a good move for him. Just keeping a look on the production tab. No gases or anything coming on through, but yeah. This is looking all pretty normal on both sides.
And overall, Schnieder here with the attempt at taking his 3rd base. And Probe, well, going to get it tickled away. So,
slowly working on through here. Down goes that Probe. Unfortunate for him. Of course, we do have the Cybernetics core now coming down at the front of this rule for PiLiPiLi. And it's going to be a couple of minutes until we really see what kind of decision he wants to be making here in terms of his tech. The Overlord is getting a complete view of everything before he backs away.
Why is this Probe moving up here? These 2 lings are already looking to intercept. I mean, there's very, very nice Overlord positioning to be able to spot this Probe. But now, in the end, PiLiPiLi should technically not try and do anything with this Probe. Technically. But it should be spotted. If that does not get spotted, then...
Where is this Ling going? Okay, no, the Ling will definitely see it. It's rallied all the way up there.
Yeah.
So it should be absolutely fine.
You cannot just let that do what it wants up there when you've spotted it with an Overlord like that. Otherwise, you are just running the risk of actually having this 3rd hatch just totally, totally punished. But does find it. Good stuff. PiLiPiLi, what is his course of action from here on out? I mean, technically, he could have just gone into a robo facility and then just continued and tried and gotten an immortal push again. But for now, doesn't look like that's the case just yet. Doesn't have that gas in right now, so it might line up in just a little bit for a robo if he really wants it.
He's not really mining much gas, to be fair to him, though. He's just sitting there with 3 probes in gas total, so minimal in regard there, just really economically focused at the moment. The Overlord coming back in. This is actually a really important Overlord scout. He wants to just get a good look at what's going on.
Yeah, he's going to get both without spotting anything. The lings are being denied at the front. These 2 Overlords are going to die before he throws down any tech. And then he throws down extra gateways right at the front, and he's been pushing into the Cybernetics core as well. This, I mean, oh geez, okay, PiLiPiLi, man, he is ballsy as anything. He's adding on so many extra gateways at the front. They're not going to get spotted, and Roach Warren's going down, but it might be too late. It actually might be too late here, considering all the Chrono Boost that's going into this Cybernetics core right now.
It's when those first warpins come on through. Obviously, there's no pylon down at the front yet, but a probe already moving over. Note the complete wall off as well. That's really important for PiLiPiLi. It prevents the counter-attack. Lings are now coming on forward, so this is...
But they don't have speed.
They don't. Speed's a long way off as well.
And that Roach Warren isn't finished up yet either, and none of this has really been spotted through the middle of the map, right? Did he see it with an Overlord in the middle? Did he? Did he kill an Overlord in the middle?
I don't believe so. 2 Overlords have died. Those are the 2 scouting onto the main base.
Uh-oh, these 2 Lings, they're not going to see much. Oh, no, he sees it now on the edge of creep. But is it too late? He's got a few Roaches on the way. Speed's not done yet. But the warpin's going to be pretty big.
Yeah, there are 7 gates. 7 gates is a lot of warpins. Here come the Zealots. Needs Stalkers joining in with this as well.
Oh, jeez.
This is going to be so hard for Schnieder.
Yeah, and as well, if he gets some of these Roaches caught off, as soon as they start popping, that's a big deal. And PiLiPiLi's focus fire here is really, really good. Right onto those units as soon as they pop out. He has to abandon this third base. I don't think he's going to be able to save this at all.
Nope, the Roaches get taken out. GG straight there.
Jesus. Wow. PiLiPiLi plowing through this round of 4 game. And now he advances on to stage 2 and going into the 11th of November when we're back from BlizzCon. So,
and he's going up against some very tough players, though. That's the one thing I would say there. Already qualified the invited players such as Violet, Scarlet, Suppy, Huck, etc. And also a whole ton of really good players coming through from the open qualifiers as well. Bales, Demo Massa, Betrayus, Moose Skills, etc. So that's a really stacked qualifier going in there. And of course, there are those 3 spots at Intel Extreme Masters San Jose up for grabs.
Yeah. Not only that, but during the previous series, I didn't realize this, but Gravtrace actually beat State in the round of 8. So that means it was Gravtrace and Kelzahor, which I imagine is currently going on Base Trade TV as they're covering the other round of 4 match. So make sure you go over to twitch.tv/Base Trade TV to see who the final player moving into that stage number 2 qualifier is going to be.
Yep, it is, of course, going to be that all-important last spot. I'm very impressed that Gravtrace was able to take out State. State was playing really, really solid in the game of his we cast earlier.
And PiLiPiLi moving on, just kind of obliterating the idea of Schnieder early on in those games was very good for him. But aside from that, guys, that's us pretty much done from our Intel Extreme Masters San Jose qualifiers. Have you had a nice time in Cologne, Maddles?
It has been lovely.
Good. I'm happy you joined us here. I'm happy you got the opportunity to come along and have some casts with us here in the studio. But aside from that, what more is going to be going on for StarCraft? Obviously, we're going to be going over to BlizzCon. That's going to be happening very soon, this coming weekend with the final top 8, crowning a world champion. And then on the 11th of November, don't forget to tune in to the Intel Extreme Masters San Jose American Qualifier Stage number 2, where we find out 3 players moving on to San Jose. That does it from us here at the studios.
And tickets.
And tickets, intelextrememasters.com. Check the very top of the page to get your tickets for San Jose. So that does it from us here tonight. It's like 4 a.m. or something. We're going to go to bed. Hopefully you are probably too. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye.